Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Bolton,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Wilmer,
Present.
Trustee St. Germain,
Present.
Trustee Liotto,
Present.
Trustee Ryan.
Present. Okay, thank you, Nick. Good evening, everyone. We'd like to start off with Citizens' Voice. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please give us your name and your address.
Carol Murphy, Slindy's Wood Circle. I just have a couple comments and questions. So I'd like to go back to the board meeting on July 9th during the first Citizens Voice. Doug Hummel stood here and he said that it has been brought to his attention that currently there is an investigation going on and that it wasn't getting into it or any specifics of it. His concern was if such allegations are found to be true, is the village still going to fund the attorney, Scott Chatfield, that is doing the investigation? And this is all per Resolution 109-26, which was the hiring of the attorney for $6,500 to investigate workplace harassment. Mr. Hummel did not personally think that this happened on official time and didn't think the citizens, the taxpayers, should be picking up the tab for it. So later at the end of the meeting, when Mayor Bolton spoke, his response to Mr. Hummel was, any investigation going on with the village personnel does not get commented on or discussed in a public forum, never answering the question, are the taxpayers paying for this? But I'd also like to reference his answer and what happened on the Thursday before Election Day when the fire chief, as a citizen, stood here for 20 minutes with a complaint in regards to a trustee, and it was not stopped, and that was a public forum. So, my questions are, the taxpayers in the village, are they paying? 2 members of this board ran in June on transparency for the residents in the village. Well, where's the transparency on this issue of workplace harassment? And who's paying for this investigation? Has the village received the report from Attorney Chatfield yet? If so, when do we, as the village taxpayers and residents, get to see or hear the findings? And what about Germain and Germain? Aren't they already being paid for as the legal services in the village? In my opinion, if there are complaints for workplace harassment in the village hall, shouldn't they be known to the residents and the taxpayers so that come June of 2027, we have a better picture of who we are voting for in the village? Since 2 trustee and 1 mayoral position is up for election. Thank you.
Anyone else?
So prior to me not being in office, we had a presentation from CHA relative to the sidewalk project. At that time, I think it was decided that we needed, because of the monies, we needed to prioritize the sidewalks projects. My question is, has that been done? Okay, have we prioritized, Fred? And secondly, the big concern is that grant is gone in September. Wasn't that true?
We're not supposed to answer at this point in time, but if you wait for my report at the end of the meeting, you'll have an answer.
Thank you for talking to me, Fred.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Hi, I'm Marissa Vartak, and I just want to quickly introduce myself. I'm the owner of On Care Family Health, a family practice in Cicero. My husband's Surin, and we also own Kid to Kid. That's why we're here. Kid to Kid's located in the Bear Road Plaza, right here in North Syracuse by Harbor Freight.
Excuse me. Can we keep it down, please, so that we can listen to these residents? Thank you.
So I'm coming today. Wasn't planned this morning when I woke up to be here, last minute plans, but I'm coming because we have a major concern with our codes enforcer and harassment. Back up real quick, in January of 2026, my husband and I wrote then Mayor Butterfield, codes enforcer Larry Nestel, and Trustee Bolton of continued concerns of heat and electrical issues we've been having with this plaza. Several times in the summer, the fire department had been called, even in the fall, for a fire on the roof. The HVAC system needs significant beyond what our requirements are as tenants. And at that time, what had reached us to want to reach out was the police coming daily in January because there was a car accident in the parking lot because the snowbank in front of Kid to Kid was about 100 feet long and about 60 feet high, and people could not see entering or exiting the plaza. So we were very concerned of the safety of the kids coming out of the store with their parents being hit, and the police were often coming asking if we had cameras to see who hit who first. So we had reached out hoping for help from the town. In came Mr. Nestel, and he went up to my husband and was not interested in listening to any of the concerns that we had going on with the violations and lots of codes violations in the plaza, and instead wrote him a bunch of violations. He handed him paper for fines for a 3-foot extension cord, told him the brooms and the mops had to be away from the electrical circuit board, and his exact words to my husband at the time were, "Don't use the town to do your dirty work with the landlord." And he walked out. We are new. We are a small mom and pop shop. We do nothing but give back to this community, me and primary care, us owning the kids store. We didn't, we felt like peons, and we just went about our day until this morning when Mr. Nestel showed up at our store. We were not there. We were in practice seeing patients, and unannounced, uninvited, walked in, extremely hostile, threw some of our flag signs that were in the grass on the counter. Our customers then stepped back from the counter. One of the girls on staff, who is highly functioning but on the spectrum, felt threatened, ran in the back stock room, scared, and started screaming, saying that, "I want these signs taken out now. You need a permit for these signs. And tell that owner to call me, or I'm taking him to court." And what's this extension cord here? Never introduced himself. We feel targeted. We feel threatened. I do not want that man on our property. And with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to our manager, who was there at the time.
Our staff member yelled my name, and I was in the back. She came back to me. I went up, said, "There's somebody out there." So I went out and said, "Hi, what can I do? Can I help you? I'm the manager." He then took the sign that was already laying flat on our countertop, picked it up, re-slammed it down and said, "You own these. These are in the front grass." And I said, "Yes, I'm sorry. Those are ours." And he said, "They can't be there." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I will go get them." And he said, "No, where's the owner?" And I said, "I'm sorry. He's not here right now." And he said, "He's got 5 days or I'm taking him to court." And I said, "Sir, I'm going to get a hold of him and I will have him contact you." He then continued, slammed his hands on the counter again to the point where we had 3 women customers in there. 2 of them instantly walked out of the store. The third woman, after this was done, asked our other staff member, "Who is that man and are you ladies okay?" That's how irate he was. We start to go to the door, the young staff girl with me, and I said, "Let's go pick those posts up and the flags out of the thing." And she goes, "Okay." He stood in front of our entrance, stood in front of the door. We stood back. And then he said, "What's this door? What's this pink door?" And I said, "Well, we're the Pink Door store." I said, it's part of the franchise. Everybody has it." And he said, "Now you're lying to me." And I said, "No, I'm not." And he said, "I took pictures a year ago. This door was not here. You're lying to me." Then I got a little frustrated because my staff member started walking back because she did not feel comfortable. And I said, "No, now you're lying because I've worked here over a year and a half. The door's always been here." And he continued to tell me, "You need to do this, you need to do that. 5 days, you got it? 5 days, and you're going to court. I'll shut this place down." And I said, "Sir, I hear you. I will take care of it. I will contact the owner." He was rude, disrespectful. I have never in my life been spoken to by anyone of authority in that manner.
So his words to her that we needed a permit for these flag signs that multiple businesses have. So I quickly took a drive in between patients on my lunch down Bear and Main Street. Right across the street from us is Cradle and Beyond. They got a big, about 2 times the size of our flag sign right out front. Okay. How about the barbecue place behind Copper Top? Look at all those signs. Why don't we drive just a little bit down the road, less than a quarter of a mile, and see the barber shop with their feather flags out? And then let's go to church on Sunday morning at the gathering place and look at their signs, which are 4 times the size of ours. So I'm here to ask for the permits for all these places that have these feather flags because they need permits according to Mr. Nestel.
I mean, we opened this store to serve the community, I mean, we haven't made a dime and we put our blood, sweat. Does it not work? Hello? Okay. So we opened this store to serve the community. I mean, we haven't made a single. Hello? Hello? Okay. So we opened this store to serve the community and we put our blood, sweat, and everything in it, money in it. And we still continue to do so. But I mean, I'm a veteran. I was serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. I respect the authority, but when the authority is being abused, I feel like there's a personal vendetta against us. And we do not know the reason for it. It's like even my employees are being harassed. What am I supposed to do? I feel like the only difference between other businesses and us is me being an immigrant, maybe I have an accent. I don't know what's the reason is, So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak? So just for clarification, I know that there are some people who are questioning why those folks were allowed to speak longer than 3 minutes. It's because it was 3 separate individuals. 3 times 3 is 9. I felt it only fair that each individual should have an opportunity to speak. Minute approval, July 23rd, 2026, board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstract approval. Abstract number 5, voucher numbers 217 to 319, totaling $258,096.31. Included is a scheduled payment of $40,665.74 to Solvay Bank for the last payment of our 2021 snowplow and $14,975 to Transfinder for police department patrol software that was fully reimbursed by an LIF grant. And I just want to add to this, this abstract was very big, dollar-wise and bill pay-wise, because it took into consideration 3 weeks, where normally we would go 2 weeks. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second,
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, there are no budget transfers, so we move on to old business. Motion to propose a change in village audit timeframe from fiscal year 23-24 to fiscal year 25-26. After conversations regarding financials, we believe that an audit of 25-26 will be more beneficial to the village board and financial staffing to help recognize opportunities to improve our processes and build off the clerk treasurer's first budget year. So just to clarify, back many months ago, there was a motion made to do an audit on fiscal year 23-24. After speaking with the comptroller's office, with our accounting people, and numerous municipality financial advisors, it was recommended that to change that to budget year 25-26. So do I have a motion to approve the change frame of the village audit?
Motion with discussion.
Go ahead.
Deputy Mayor Wilmer was very adamant about the years in question for the audit. I'd like to know the reason for that not being considered anymore. I realize it's imperative for the new clerk to have the most current, but what you were very adamant about having the past years. What changed your mind?
I was very adamant about getting the audit done as quick as we could. Okay, and at the time, I thought that would be the best benefit for the village. Okay, and talking to Mayor Bolton and having him doing the research on that and the recommendations from everybody else, I believe it's time to make a motion to rescind my original motion and go to the 25-26.
So other than talking to Mayor Bolton and other people, what was the reason? You just decided to just change the years that you wanted the audit?
Yeah, can I change my mind if I want to?
I was wondering what the reason were you were so adamant about.
I just told you the reasons.
Okay, that's fine.
Do I have a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Motion to select the company to complete the village audit from audit form proposals received from multiple CPA firms. The mayor's office has received 3 proposals regarding the village audit: Bardadillo, Grossman St. Amour, and Incerno. Proposals were presented to the board at our August 3rd, 2026 work session. Audit cannot take place until we file the AFR, Annual Financial Report, with the State Controller's Office. Motion to select a company to complete the village audit. Do I have a motion from someone who wants to make a motion to select one of these companies?
I'll make the motion.
Motion's made to select who?
Motion is made to select Grossman St. Amour.
Do I have a second on Grossman St. Amour?
I'll second it.
All those in favor of awarding the audit to Grossman St. Amour, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Motion to select a company to assist with the filing of the AFR for fiscal year 25-26 and to assist in making monthly financials current for the years 25-26. The mayor's office has partnered with the clerk treasurer to hear proposals for a CPA firm to assist with filing of the APR. Best practice is to go with a different firm than would be potentially auditing our finances. Motion to select the company to assist with the preparing and filing.
I'll make the motion.
Go ahead.
BST.
Motion for BST. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of BST signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, new business. Motion to propose revision to current employee personnel policy handbook. The board was presented with a proposal and presentation by a company specializing in creating and maintaining municipal employee handbooks. The current municipal employee handbook has not been updated since 2008. Employee handbook is in dire need of an update just to adapt to standards of New York State law. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Motion to approve the appointment of Josh Daugard to lieutenant with the North Syracuse Fire Department.
So move.
Discussion, please.
Go ahead.
This says it's informational.
I apologize. That's a mistake. It is a motion to approve the appointment of Josh Daugard to lieutenant with the North Syracuse Fire Department. Anything else?
No?
Do I have a second? Yes.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of an MOU regarding an employee being reassigned from a laborer in the Parks Department to DPW Laborer. MOU needs to be executed to reassign Dwayne Dolbear from the Parks Department to DPW. Responsibilities largely will stay the same and will not adversely affect the upkeep of the parks. And as a side note, maintenance and repairs at all parks are now falling under the DPW. So the DPW will take responsibility for all maintenance, repairs, anything that needs to be done at the parks. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. A motion to approve the appointment of Carol Wahl to the Ethics Committee. Carol will be replacing Trustee Ryan's vacated seat. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and I would like it on the record, please.
We have a motion to appoint Denise Bellows to serve on the Ethics Board. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, that now brings us to our second citizen's voice. If anyone would like to get up and speak, please name and address and your address.
Is it on? I'm just confused. I'm so confused. We've been here for months, and all we heard about was that damn audit. And how can we move forward if we don't know how much money we're moving forward with? Lisa's been up here, Patience, I believe Carol's been up here, and at every meeting, that audit from 2023, or if it was 2024, 25, no one ever understood what Trustee Wilmer's years were. And that's all we talked about was that damn audit. And going outside to have someone do the audit. And now today we walk in and just forget it. Where's the transparency? Why? Why did we all of a sudden drop it when we went for months? We're not talking a month. We're not talking 2 months. We're talking last year. I don't understand.
Anyone else like to speak?
I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to anyway. I agree with changing the audit. I think that it's good to kind of start with the last year. If we dig in and find something wrong, I would hope that the board is then at that point going to go through and look further back if anything needs to happen. But at this point, we just need to move forward. We have new administration. Let's look at the last year, see what's going on, making sure that we don't roll anything into this current fiscal year. And then if they do find something on the audit, which I hope they don't, then we can go back and make a decision then.
Anyone else?
Just to feed off that, I think it's fiscally responsible to get us in place with the money with the most current years. If there's issues in the current years, like Patience said, then go back. But to do 23, 24, 25, 20, it is not fiscally responsible to do that. And we're trying to be fiscally responsible. So that makes sense. If they had come to the meeting on the 3rd, they probably would have heard the rationale and the reasoning behind those decisions, which I did attend that meeting. So that's informational. And I also want to give some kudos to Mr. Stevens of the DPW. He's doing a lot of work. Mr. Deputy Mayor Wilmer is addressing some safety issues on on the road in the village. And I want to thank him for that, along with Mr. Stevens, as well as the volunteers at the fire department. They graciously came out, one of the members of the fire department, and did look at some smoke detectors in homes that they found were expired in 2018, offered their assistance in finding the right smoke detector for those facilities, and even offered to help with some installation. And that's great for our fire department, who are volunteers, given their own personal time to do that for the people within the community. So I want to thank the fire department as well.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on to attorney report. Engineer has been excused because she is on vacation. We will now transition over to Parks Department Supervisor.
So we'll start with summer's coming to an end. All of our programming is coming to an end. Summer camp ends tomorrow. Today we had our annual, they call it Bye Bye Bash, inflatables, popcorn, ice cream. Chief Estalos, Chief Fieldson, both were in attendance, providing child IDs, sprinkler system from the fire truck. Kids loved it. So I want to thank them for that. last concert of the year was supposed to be yesterday, but with the rain, we postponed it to next Wednesday. So 6 o'clock, Lonergan Park, Nelson Brothers. Anybody who wants to attend, feel free to. The pool will close next Thursday is our last day due to, majority of our lifeguards going back to school. So that's the last day we can fully staff properly the pool. Over the last couple of weeks, I've had 2 meetings with audio equipment company to try to move the board meeting back upstairs. They're going to figure out a way to connect our system up there, upgrade speakers, and just that way we can move upstairs. We won't be as crowded down like we are down here. And then yesterday I had the opportunity to tour CNS High School. They're building, for those of you who don't know, they're building a new pool, $20 million indoor pool. Met with the school board, athletic department, parks directors from Salina, Cicero, Clay. That's it. So in the school district, they have 4 municipalities that fall into one school district. So the school district is looking into ways to potentially work with municipalities, get programming in the pool during winter hours for those municipalities who have pools, who have lifeguards, things like that. So we had good discussions about possibilities moving forward. They plan to be open sometime in February. And then one of their goals was to be a lifeguard hub. So using high school students and potentially, funneling students to local municipalities for lifeguarding in the summer. And that's all I got.
Did that make you extremely happy about the lifeguarding?
We're back. Lifeguarding, we've had steady lifeguards over the years. It's just if they're high schoolers, we can stay open a little bit longer, probably to the end of August, but it would help. These kids might be getting real jobs someday. So definitely looking forward to potentially having more people lifeguarding.
Thank you, Don. Code enforcement officer is not present. Being the liaison to codes, I will give you the codes report. I asked for information of violations from July 1st to July 31st. There were 11 violations issued. 7 were for tall grass, 3 were for structure issues, and 1 was for an unregistered motor vehicle. Also, for that same time period, permits that were issued by the codes department. There were 7 building permits, 3 decks, 1 sign, and 3 remodels. And that is the codes report. Fire Chief Estalos.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the fire department continues to be abnormally busy this year. We're approaching 650 calls for service. So still on track to breach 1,000. As the parks director said, we had the pleasure of going out to the park and North Syracuse Engine 8, and thanks to the DPW as well for supporting us. We were able to run North Syracuse Engine 8 at the park and wet all the kids down. They enjoyed it immensely. Our bunk-in program is booming, which is a great thing. The kids are starting to come back from OCC or from summer vacation to OCC, so they're in the process of moving in. And lastly, thank you, Ms. Wahl, for the mention. I do want to take that opportunity to just do a quick public service announcement. One of the biggest sources of calls for service for the volunteers of our fire department is smoke detectors, carbon monoxide alarms, and monitored alarm systems. That being said, it's important to remember that carbon monoxide alarms and smoke alarms do have an expiration date. They average 7 to 10 years. So a lot of times what you find is, especially on older models, we can change the batteries, but at about that 10-year mark, and it never fails, it's always 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, they decide to expire and start beeping. And then, of course, we get nervous because we think it's carbon monoxide, which we want you to call the fire department. We don't mind coming out and telling you it's a bad detector, but if you can be proactive and just check the date, I always recommend taking a Sharpie and maybe writing the date on the side or somewhere where you can see it. It's usually on the label that's covered up. Alarm systems are also a big one. We had a call last night to the apartment complex next to St. Rose for a malfunctioning alarm system that we could not reset. It's imperative that if you do have a monitored alarm system that you maintain it. It is actually New York State code and law that you're responsible to maintain your alarm system. And if it continues to go off and generate false alarms, it could be considered a nuisance alarm where codes would get involved at that point. So the moral of the story is smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors definitely save lives, but they're only as good as the batteries in them and the expiration date that they have on them. That's my conclusion of the report. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Chief. Supervisor Wallace. DPW has been busy repairing sidewalks and repairing road gutters down in Slindy's Woods. And we also have been rebuilding storm drains, picking up brush, and doing vehicle maintenance. That's my report. Thank you, Supervisor. Chief Fieldson.
Mayor, just want to remind the community that one of the free services we offer at the police department is the safe disposal of sharps or medications. I know sometimes those items can be difficult to dispose of properly. We have 2 receptacles in our lobby of our police department. So if you'd like to utilize that service, feel free anytime, Monday to Friday, 8 to 4, and that is for village residents. I know I took a question on that here tonight, and that's something that a lot of folks don't know that we do. So feel free to use that service. We're thankful to be able to provide it. From a community policing standpoint, last week we had the opportunity to attend National Night Out at Long Branch Park. And National Night Out is a nationwide initiative meant to promote stronger relationships with police in the community. So we were there with a number of other law enforcement agencies around Onondaga County, and it was an excellent time to be able to integrate with the community and the greater community. It was an event that a couple trustees attended, and we were very thankful to see them there as well. Today, as the Parks Director and the Fire Chief mentioned, we had the opportunity to create child IDs, as well as play some fun games with the kids at the end of North Syracuse Summer Camp. That was a lot of fun, and I can tell you that some of those kids move much quicker than myself at some of the games. So, and lastly, I brought some e-bike literature. If you're interested in learning about e-bikes, the laws, New York State laws regarding e-bikes, if you're not interested in taking something, there is a QR code that you can simply scan, which will bring you to a website and detail laws regarding e-bikes. So after the meeting, please feel free if you'd like to take one or take as many as you'd like to share, and they're free for the taking. Thank you, Mayor.
And just to expand on Chief Fieldson's brochure with e-bikes, I've received numerous calls over the last 2 weeks about e-bikes. The chief and I have met twice to talk about e-bikes and what our local law enforcement can do as far as e-bikes go. I would highly suggest you take that brochure and even highly suggest you scan that barcode. It will give you a much better understanding of what the municipality's law enforcement has at their disposal to try and keep people safe with these e-bikes. So I highly suggest you take that. Clerk Nick, I was going to attempt your last name, but I decided not to.
That's all right. It's tough in Polish, and there's 2 Z's in there. I totally get it. Yeah. I'm happy to report that our department is fully staffed at this point. We have a new deputy clerk treasurer. Lori is doing an awesome job. She brings a lot of knowledge. She comes from another municipality, so she is learning our systems, and she's also pointing out some things that down the road maybe we can use to be more efficient going forward. Like the mayor said, we are going to go with an outside agency to get the financials caught up and get the AFR taken care of. I was able to do a preliminary run of the July financials or the June financials, and all of the departments are doing a pretty good job of staying within budget. No real red flags at this point, so I know it's only 1 month, but it's good to know at least where we stand with what we're spending at this point. And just hope to get everything straightened out and have good reports, and hopefully have clean AFR and a clean audit, and have no issues going forward.
Thank you. So now we move to trustees report, and I just want to, for the sake of our residents, remind them that the purpose of the trustee report is to report out what the trustee has done from the last meeting to this meeting, to make you more informed, to make you more aware of what they're doing out in the community, what they're doing to strengthen the village and move the village forward. So we will start with trustee Luann St. Germain.
Okay, first I'd like to apologize for not being here for the past meeting, and unfortunately did not know that that was the new rule for the trustees report. Did you have something to say? Okay, so what I would like to say was that, like I said, I apologize for not being here. I was away on a medical emergency out of state for my dad. I wanted to bring up a couple of things that I wanted to bring in my report that I have concern with. The last time I had a report, it was regarding the water safety drill at the pool. It had to do with the open meeting law. And I'm very concerned that we should be following things going forward in the right way. I had brought up to the deputy mayor that there was another function, another drill for the fire drill, and 3 trustees attended. So I asked him what the difference was, and he said he thinks it's something I should bring up. We've always attended holiday parades, Arbor Day plannings, Earth Day, installation dinners, ribbon cuttings for roads, Christmas parties. I'd like clarification so we're all always in compliance going forward with how these differ and fall underneath the open meeting law. Are we not being compliant? Have we not been compliant? If only 2 could have gone to the function that you and Trustee Liato went to at the pool, how is that different from 3 going to the drill on August 4th? So I'd like clarification on that at some point.
I will provide you with clarification.
Or possibly the attorney could. Thank you. One thing that this is very important to me. For the past 9 years as trustee, I've consistently used my Gmail address for Village and North Syracuse business. Since the 15th of July, I've received no email correspondence where the village business is concerned to my Gmail address as per the mayor. There's no email referenced in our current personnel policy. We have no local law referring to it. It's not a NICOM requirement. And although I understand that the mayor is not legally obligated to communicate with any of us through email, I request that when village board correspondence is distributed by email to the other members of the board, the same correspondence also be provided to me at my established Gmail address. My request, I don't mean to interrupt you if you're interrupting me again. Okay. My request is not for any special accommodation, but simply to receive the same board-related information being provided to the other trustees so that I can remain fully informed and participate effectively in my capacity as an elected trustee. That's my report. Thank you.
I will resend you the emails that I've sent you previously stating why we had to go to that email format.
I've received those emails.
Trustee Wilmer.
My report is on the sidewalk committee. First of all, I want to thank Trustee Ken Ryan, DPW Superintendent Gil Stevens, along with DPW Foreman Jim Wallace, for the many hours that we all put together on the proposed sidewalk project. Checking each sidewalk, discussing each one. We spent 4.5 hours in one afternoon and many hours after that. As a result, we have a tentative list of improvements or replacements. Even when I thought everything had been covered, I sat with Mayor Bolton and a couple more hours, and more came to light. So again, reached out to Jim Wallace, and we to knock around some more ideas. We have one more complete step before the committee presents the list to the board for approval, and that would be taking the list to Luke Mornus of CHA, and then he will supply the village with bid packages for each proposed part of the sidewalk renovations. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, be aware that this is a $1.2 million grant. As each part is completed, the village has to be paying for whatever that cost is, and then we get reimbursed at 80%. But here means we have to pay 100% of that up front to be reimbursed 80%. So I should have a list of all these sidewalks for the next board meeting and inform the board of that. Respectfully, Committee Chair Fred Wilmer, Deputy Mayor.
Trustee Liato.
Sure. Hope you can hear me a little better this time. I promise to be a little short and sweet with my report today. I've been extremely busy since our last board meeting. The following includes some of the duties and community events that I have been engaged in. I spent time at Village Hall on several occasions reviewing and signing requisitions and completing financial abstracts. I attended a personnel policy work session to discuss updating our current policy, which has not been updated since 2008. I attended a NICOM webinar regarding water infrastructure and funding opportunities. Although it did not specifically pertain to our current village needs, I was able to make some new connections and start building relationships in this arena. I reached out to neighboring village municipalities to introduce myself and again start building relationships, and also to understand the needs we share as villages and how we can collaborate moving forward on common goals. Ken and I attended the National Night Out at Lonergan at Long Branch Park, where there were many area police departments, including our very own North Syracuse Police Department, local fire departments, community providers, and we were able to see the Air One make a landing, which was very exciting to me. I've spent time at the fire department with the drills, engaged in meetings. I am getting to know more and more of the volunteer members, and I want to say a big thank you to all of the members who have been very welcoming and kind to me. I also had the honor and pleasure of being part of a fire department visit by Senator Ryan's office and his grant writer, Catherine. Again, building relationships, and I hope this was the first of many more visits to come. And I want to say, if anyone has an interest about hearing more about becoming a member of our volunteer fire department, please, please, please reach out to Chief Astalos. I attended the Central New York Forward Project information session at the Clay Town Hall discussing DOT updates to traffic flows and updates for 81 and 481 last week. And I had the privilege of joining the senior group with Mayor Bolton to share the good news about the upcoming bus trip and meet more residents and see what they need. There's a lot of needs that the senior needs. They're always looking for certain donations. I also attended the ribbon cutting at Meals on Wheels earlier this afternoon, and that was an extremely special experience. And I want to thank you to all the residents who have reached out to me to ask questions, voice concerns, and to introduce yourself. Please continue to reach out. Thank you.
Chief Fieldson, you've got some competition.
Sorry.
Trustee Ryan.
I was invited by Chief Fieldson to interview new incoming police officers, and I appreciate that. And I think the candidate we interviewed did pretty well. I attended a work session on the 3rd, and some of the people out here in the audience, it was good to see you there. Because at one point, and it's good to see all you people here today, because at one point there was probably 4 of us out in that audience, and now there's a lot more people giving their opinion, paying attention, I think. And I had another tree limb down. It's a popular place around my street, I guess. And Josh Daugard saw it, and he went down there, and I walked down to see what was going on, and Jimmy Wallace and Sir Winston came in and cleared it up. DPW took care of it. And like Chief Fieldson said, and Lisa, we went out to the Long Branch Park. I attended that, so I'll just leave it at that. And the driver training, I was there for that with Lisa too. I went with the mayor to Onondaga Safe Streets. It's a new program that's being done in Onondaga County for safer streets for drivers, pedestrians, how maybe we could improve with sidewalk speeds, whatever. It was the first session, and there were other municipalities there, and I thought it was a pretty good tool to start with. And sidewalks, Fred took care of that. And I did attend the Meals for Wheels opening today with Lisa. And that's my report.
Okay, thank you. So the mayor's report, and along with the mayor's report, I will answer some of the questions or comments that were made during Citizens' Voice. So first of all, I met with our county legislator, Ellen Block. They've got some funding available for our parks. So hopefully in the next few weeks, I'm going to be able to report that we've been able to secure some funding for new playground equipment. I also went and had a meeting with Assemblyman Sturpey to talk about and discuss the village, what his office can do as far as helping the village, both from a financial aspect and also from a recognition aspect throughout central New York. As Trustee Liato said, I attended a meeting at the fire station that she had set up with Senator Ryan and his staff to introduce herself, introduce Chief Estalos, and I've already met Senator Ryan and his staff, but to have me there in my new capacity, so I appreciate that very much. One other part of my report before I get into answering the questions that were brought up, and then I'm probably going to embarrass her when I say this because I didn't tell her I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. So we have Judy in our audience. For those of you that don't know, she works at Village Hall. And Judy has been phenomenal in keeping us afloat over the last 6-8 months. In my first 45 days as mayor, she's been instrumental in helping me to navigate through what I have to do and what I have to look at. She's taken on payroll. She's taken on accounts payable. She's taken on keeping everybody in line, making sure that we're doing what we need to do. And many, many times those individuals kind of go unnoticed and they're behind the scenes, but not Judy. Don't do anything in my office, Judy, tomorrow, because. All right. So first comments that were brought up were about the personnel matter. As I will state again, a personnel matter is not to be discussed in an open forum and is not to be discussed at an open board meeting. The personnel matter is still continuing. It has not been closed. And to answer your question, regardless of how the personnel matter is handled, the village will be paying the $6,500 for legal advice. To comment on why we did not use our legal counsel ourselves, that was a decision made by the previous deputy mayor. When this allegation came to him, he made the decision to reach out to outside counsel after talking with our counsel, and that's why Jermaine is not part of the investigation. Fred answered the question on sidewalks for Mr. Robertson. The question about the audit, I was a little confused. The audit is still going on. We are not stopping the audit. All we did was change the year from fiscal year 23-24 to fiscal year 25-26. The reason for doing that is it doesn't serve any purpose to go back years to do an audit. Because if there was something wrong in 23-24, it probably got corrected at the end of 24. So now we want to look at 25-26. When Trustee Wilmer made that motion, quite honestly, it was so long ago that 23-24 would have made sense, but it's taken so long to get this done. And I'm very happy that we approved the audit being done tonight. We approved the AFR being completed and the monthly financials being done. So I just wanted to clear that up. We're still doing the audit. We never said we weren't going to do the audit. As far as the information that was presented to us regarding codes, I'm sorry, but all I can tell you is that I will investigate this. That falls into that personnel situation and personnel matter that I really can't go into and discuss at this time. But I apologize for the situation that you and your employees had to allegedly encounter. I will tell you that we will fully investigate it and come up with a determination and understanding of what may have occurred. And that is the end of my one last thing. I'm sorry. So Trustee Liato talked about the senior citizens. So every Thursday at 10:30, the senior citizens meet here. Chief Fieldson's presented to them. Mr. Robertson's presented to them. I presented to them. And one of their big questions was, why don't we get to go on bus trips anymore? They've always gone on bus trips. They go to a theater in Auburn, or they go to the Finger Lakes Mall and shop and all different things. So they asked Trustee Liato and myself to look into why they can't go to bus trips anymore. And it ended up coming down to being a funding issue. Okay, the funds were taken out of the Parks Department for whatever reason, it doesn't really matter. But at our last meeting, for those of you that weren't here, we did a budget transfer. And that budget transfer was to take $1,200 out of the mayor's salary budget line and transfer that to parks. So that $1,200 has been transferred from the mayor's salary to parks to allow for them to go on a bus trip. Now, when Lisa and I came and told them that on Thursday, you would think that they were the little kids at Heritage Park today running under the water. How happy they were and how excited they were that they were going to get to go on a bus trip. So for those of you that don't know about the seniors group, They love to have visitors. They love to have people come in. So feel free to stop in and say hello. And with that, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. The meeting is closed.